Hey guys, my name is Nora Franche, and welcome to the podcast Grateful Blessed Mess, daily reflections for those in the 12 steps. I am a fellow 12-stepper and certified mindset coach, and I am here to introduce you to the value of mindset coaching in your 12-step journey. So if you feel like you are stuck in the steps, if you're slipping and sliding with your abstinence, mindset coaching may help you as it did me, and you can find me at catholicmindsetcoaching.com. These episodes are meant to invite you in to consider the truths of 12-step wisdom and to join in the very real struggle of living them in action. I hope that it feels almost like a mini meeting, and I invite you to contribute your own share on the Grateful Blessed Mess Facebook group to keep the discussion going. My comments are based on my own experience, so feel free to take what you like and leave the rest. But my hope is to encourage you on your own daily 12-step journey. As they say, you cannot stay clean on yesterday's shower. So without further ado, let's begin. Hey guys, we're reading from Melody.The's The Language of Letting Go, Payoffs from Destructive Relationships. The reading for October 10th. Sometimes it helps to understand that we may be receiving a payoff from relationships that cause us distress. The relationship may be feeding into our helplessness or our martyr role. Maybe our relationship feeds our need to be needed, enhancing our self-esteem by allowing us to feel in control or morally superior to another person. Some of us feel alleviated from financial or other kinds of responsibility by staying in a particular relationship. Quote, "My father sexually abused me when I was a child," end quote, said one woman. And then she continues, "I went on to spend the next 20 years blackmailing him emotionally and financially on this. I could get money from him whenever I wanted, and I never had to take financial responsibility for myself," end quote. Realizing that we may have gotten a codependent payoff from a relationship is not a cause for shame. It means we are searching out the blocks in ourselves that may be stopping our growth. We can take responsibility for the part we may have played in keeping ourselves victimized. When we are willing to look honestly and fearlessly at the payoff and let it go, we will find the healing we've been seeking. We'll also be ready to receive the positive, healthy payoffs available in relationships, the payoffs we really want and need. Today, I will be open to looking at the payoffs I may have received from staying in unhealthy relationships or from keeping destructive systems operating. I will become ready to let go of my need to stay in unhealthy systems. I am ready to face myself. Yeah, IFS has really helped me understand this because it has shown me how every thought, behavior, action that I don't understand really comes from a place in me that is seeking some good. It really is seeking either an actual good or something that it perceives to be good. And it allows me to have a lot of compassion for myself in place of where I may have had shame. And so there's two different things here. Either we think the benefit is worth, the dysfunction because perhaps it's a more like primary need. And we think that getting it filled even just a little bit is better than being without it completely. And what we don't realize is that we're settling for a counterfeit of something that could be much more real. Or perhaps we are simply there's that phrase that the good is the enemy of the great, that what we're doing isn't wrong, it isn't even bad, but what we're settling for is not the thing that we were meant for. So you could think of this with someone who, say, volunteers for lots of things, and those are good things to volunteer for and they're good causes, but what happens is they don't have any time for themselves, and they're overextended and they're stressed and harried and not well. And so your health is more important than the number of ways you help others if it then compromises your own ability to be okay. So the good, maybe volunteer opportunities, can be the enemy of the great. I don't know if this is the best example, but in that you are compromising something more important, your health, for something that is good, helping out in volunteer opportunities. So, not the best example, but maybe I can come up with something better down the road. Basically, back to the more dysfunctional things, the things that really cause us shame. Those are the things that are hard for us to look at, or we just don't get, or we put out of our psyche. And then when they come up and bubble up, we feel triggered and we want them to go away. Sometimes we get sad. Other times we get angry at the person who made them kind of bubble up. But know this, that in your own interior work, whatever thing in you that's coming up that you'd rather just not see, or something that you know you're doing that you're like, this is messed up, but I'm going to keep doing it because it's working. Eventually, if you keep doing this 12-step work, if you keep on this spiritual climb, eventually it just won't work anymore. And I think that we're invited to do this in our inventory of our defects of character. We're invited to see where they were working for us and where they were benefiting us, because it helps us to understand why we were doing it in the first place and why we may be still so attached to that way of being, that way of acting or thinking. And so it's important, it helps, I think, to let go. What they said at the end, I'm ready to face myself. I am willing to become ready to let go of my need to stay in unhealthy systems. Once we see what we were doing and why we were doing it and the benefit that we had, and then if we can come face to face and see that the benefit now isn't worth the cost. And this, it takes hard work and it takes time. But if you're someone who perhaps has done their 4-step inventory and is maybe feeling like they're struggling in moving forward from that point, perhaps this is something that would be very helpful for you. With that, I pass. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you feel that mindset coaching could help you on your 12-step journey, please feel free to reach out and find me at catholicmindsetcoaching.com. This is not a replacement for 12-step work. This is something outside of the 12 steps. It is simply something that has a heart for the 12 steps and those who are in it. And so, welcome. If you are here, chances are you may also be a bit of a mess, and I hope that you can learn to find some gratitude in the blessings that have come from your messes.